Welcome to the Saturday edition of the Box Seat. I'm Adam McGrath and joined by Mark Olmos. Mark, 8 races to take a look at. Bit of rain again on a Saturday, as we'd expect at Belmont Park.
Yes, Adam, great to be here with you again. Welcome to our viewers. Yes, soft track form is the word of the day, I think.
Let's take a look at the conditions that we will be faced with. As we said, rain, soft track, and the movable rail is out 3 metres as well. We'll get straight into race number 1. And what we will notice, Mark, when we're taking a look at these races, different colours for number 1. You've got the tyre going here as well, looking very nice, celebrating the jockeys.
Yes, the orange and white silks with the Jockeys Trust logo. A great initiative by all the race clubs around Australia, and all proceeds going towards the Jockeys Trust and making recognition to those jockeys who have fallen and the ones that are doing it tough.
Yeah, certainly a great cause as well. We will be wearing those tyres on race day. Looking forward to that. Let's get straight into race number 1, an event for the 3-year-olds over the 1,000 metres, and there is some strong form in this race.
Yeah, good 2-year-old race. We've only got 7 runners, which is a shame, but some handy form lines. One of those is Dainty Tess. We know how well she's going. $300,000 earner now. Let's have a look at her last start win, beating the Celt.
Behind those searching for the way clear, a roaring trade down the outside, one short from Spangled Impact, then Delavadova. 250 to go. Dainty Tess, the Celt together, they've broken away. It's on the inside. Dainty Tess responding from the Celt down inside the 100. Dainty Tess fighting. The Celt can't do any better. Dainty Tess, the Celt, and Dainty Tess clings on. Dainty Tess won it.
She certainly is a very classy runner, this one, Dainty Tess, whether it's over the 1,200, the 1,000 metres. She just continues to adapt. And speaking of Jordan Turner post-race, he just loves everything about her. He says you get on her, you go out, she's calm, collective, put her in the barriers, you almost think she's about to fall asleep. And the moment they open, she springs the gates, she's got the early speed and she continues to fight. And we saw that last start with the Celt, but this is a really tough assignment for Dainty Tess. She gives the Celt a kilo for that long head, and then even going back 2 starts for her where she beat Invincible Mode, which was 3 starts ago for that galloper. It's a 2.5 kilo swing for 1 length as well. So this is probably one of their biggest tests so far.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Adam, one thing I love about her is she's like a 5-year-old stayer. She's just so calm and so gentle, but she's a 3-year-old sprinter, 1,000-metre horse. She goes to the gates and she's just bomb-proof. As you mentioned, though, has to give the Celt a little bit of weight. That performance behind Dainty Tess was good, as you mentioned. Behind Boudica, he's got to win one race. This could be the one, but we've also got Invincible Mode, who I think's gone under the radar in early markets. Opened up at $15. Now, it was a good win. It was in inferior class, but it comes into this with every chance, with the claim and the right barrier. I think he's a colt with a lot of ability.
Yeah, the 2 runners you mentioned there, the Celt certainly looks ready to go. 3rd up now with that kilo swing and barrier 5 as well. And Invincible Mode is way over the odds. You mentioned $15. That's ridiculous. Beaten by a length by Dainty Tess, as I mentioned, 3 starts ago, and gets a 2.5 kilo swing. An impressive winner last start over the 1,000 metres, and that's where this horse has to run. It went to the 12 the start before, just couldn't run it out. Still does a little bit wrong throughout running, and maybe people are reading into Jordan Turner staying with Dainty Tess over Invincible Mode, but those odds are crazy at the moment.
Yeah, because he is a bit coltish still. He's still an entire. He's definitely got a bit of precociousness about him, and 1,000-metre suits. We've also got in the race, we'll touch on quickly, number 4 Sweet Aura from the Jeff Durant and Jason Milliard, and we've got number 5 Badge of Courage from the Milliard, who's a first starter.
Yeah, well, these first 5 runners are very impressive. Now, Sweet Aura, the bonus that this filly gets is that there is so much speed in this race. If she can keep up with him, William will be riding her ears off through those early stages, but she has the turn of foot to be able to run over strongly. And Badge of Courage, and one thing we know is you don't take on Miller gallopers that are making their debut or have shown potential in trials. This galloper did exactly that, beat Swift Platinum in a recent trial, which is a nice type as well and has plenty of speed. So from barrier 1 with a 55 kilos, I think he can certainly be playing a part in the race. But I have decided to go with number 2, the Celt. I think can win this race from 4 Sweet Aura, 1 Dainty Tess and 3 Invincible Mode.
Yeah, I went with the first starter. I didn't think he'd get a bit of odds, but it's opened up very short favourite, in fact. Number 5 Badge of Courage from the 1 Dainty Tess, number 2 the Celt, and the 3 Invincible Mode.
Race number 2 at Belmont Park. It is over the 1,400 metres, a 72+ event. Only the 7 runners to take a look at, but really looking forward to this race. Of course, we see General Groove drop from the listed races and certainly looks to be one of those times that may be able to win a race pretty soon.
Yeah, and Stocks and Flying Raw meet each other again. Let's have a look at that replay where Stocks beat Flying Raw by half a length.
Flying Raw, Stocks in the middle. Royal Raiders got up near the rail. 2 lengths behind them, Crown Lawyer, and Hall goes to work on Mad Brad. 200 left to go. It's it, hit the front. Stocks into the clear from Flying Raw. It's it. We're 150 to run. The leader from Stocks and Flying Raw. Stocks now levels up in the centre. Got the nose in front. Flying Raw on the outside, but Stocks will win it. Stocks has scored.
Really good performance there by Stocks. I think the key was dropping back to the 1,400 metres. Has raced well over the 16 before, but you take a look at the distance record. 7 attempts for 4 victories and 2 placings. Just loves those type of conditions and enjoys a soft track. Is going to get that again. The question mark is now going up in weight. Obviously, Flying Raw meets at 2 kilos better for only only that half-length defeat. And I'd almost be tempted to lean towards Flying Raw because of that.
Absolutely, it's the way I've gone. But as you mentioned, Adam, he has won over 1,600 metres, but I think better suited over 1,400 metres, as we saw last start in the wet. And Flying Raw, as you mentioned, the better weight swing. Number 1, General Groove. Those runs in the Bowfine over the 1,000 looked to go quite well in the very heavy conditions. Last start was good as well. Out to 1,400 should be much better suited and beyond.
Soft track just concerning me a little bit here. The stats aren't great, but I went back and watched General Groove in that listed Bolton numerous times, and the horse was absolutely travelling. As approaching the top of the straight, just looked for a way out, couldn't get it. Then again, got squeezed, racing restricted room, but over the last 100 metres really attacked the line strongly and got within 3.8 lengths of first among equals. Now you add the 2 kilo claim to Aaron Mitchell, who's leading the Jockey Challenge with a treble on Wednesday as well, rode tremendously. Barrier 3 in much weaker company. I really think General Groove can get the job done here, and I'm actually tipping that way. Number 1, General Groove, from number 5, Flying Raw, 2 Stocks and 7 Grey Enigma.
I've got number 5, Flying Raw, to turn the tables on number 2, Stocks, from the 1, General Groove, and number 7, Grey Enigma.
Race number 3 at Belmont Park. It is over the 1,300 metres, an event for the 3-year-olds, and another intriguing run because Rich Red, a horse that probably hasn't been given the respect it deserved, has won 2 in a row. Gangbuster has shown a bit of class as well, and I don't even mind here and there down the bottom as well. I think can be a nice type.
Yeah, it's not a bad field this. Gangbuster probably should have won last start, but we'll have a look at the replay of number 2, Rich Red, beating Burning Magic last start.
The back ladies sat tab. Here's a pros around them deeper, and back behind them something big down on the rail. At the 300 though, Jupiter Rising joined again by Rich Red. It's Rich Red, Jupiter Rising, a length and a half. Burning Magic taking a day to get there. Night Watchman down inside the 100. Rich Red beat off Jupiter Rising, Burning Magic, and it'll be Rich Red, much too good for them once again. Rich Red pulled away to beat Burning Magic.
Strong performance again there by Rich Red, and Night Watchman was actually the favourite after Rich Red beat at the start before at Pinjarra, and just did it with ease, winning by 2 lengths. Now that Burning Magic raced on Wednesday, so the form lines have held up there. Barrier 1, 56 kilos. Paul Jordan's just sneaking under the radar a little bit. We talked about this at Wednesday at Belmont Park, just how nicely he's ticking along. We know his horses go to the front. I think this horse can win again.
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, Dusty Storm on Wednesday won well, held off Burning Magic on that occasion. That was a nice run from that Parnham Galloper. So the form line's certainly there. Gangbuster arguably should have won last start in Saturday Company when Chill the Champers sort of came from nowhere. Nobody really gave it a chance, and it won quite nicely for Fred Kersey. But I think he might be the class in the race, especially over further distance.
I went back and watched the 13 and the 1,400 metres, and I think the 13 is just ideal at the moment for Gangbuster with where this horse is going. Barrier 5, 56 kilos. Of course, it's the half-brother to Let It Slip as well, so we know there's a bit of class in the family. I just think Gangbuster's going to get that perfect run with the speed in the race because of Rich Red, and also even the other Paul Jordan runner, which I think can go forward in this occasion. I think Gangbuster sits there, just chills, takes a bit of time, attacks the line strongly, and I think can make it another victory.
Number 7 as well, Wild Gust, this filly by Piteco. Now, Bob McPherson trains. You won't hear a lot about Bob and his runners, but this horse was excellent last start behind Invincible Mode, just running on, and I think 1,000 out to 1,300 metres will suit perfectly.
The 1,000 was way too short. Mature Otier on that occasion was just riding the ears off this galloper, did its best work past the post, so the extra 300 metres is an added bonus. The speed in the race will suit. Barrier 2, 54 kilos. I really like her. I think she looks to be a nice type, so I'm with you there. I think you have to have her in your 4, but I'm going to tip number 1, Gangbuster, from 2, Rich Red, number 8, Aaron there, and number 7, Wild Gust.
Yeah, it looks one of the Quinellas of the day. Number 1, Gangbuster for me as well. From the 2, Rich Red, number 8, Aaron there, and number 7, Wild Gust.
Race number 4 at Belmont Park. It is an event over the 1,600 metres, and I'm really looking forward to this race, Mark. There was 2 horses that we both really liked. They went hammer and tong out in front. They battled it out, and they do it again here.
They do indeed, but we'll have a look at Thunderclap Newman, as it is going to be wet on Saturday. 2 starts ago, Thunderclap Newman won very impressively, beating Shalo.
Shadow Thunderclap Newman down near the inside, searching for a clear opening, and then came Faux Shizzle trying to thread its way through. Not really too much point going further back. Shalo at the 200 led. Now the run comes for Thunderclap Newman if he's good enough, but it's Shalo kicking with 100 left to go. Shalo the leader. Thunderclap Newman is starting to haul him in though. It's Thunderclap Newman ranging up, grabbing Shalo. It
was an intriguing race this. The more the rain came before the race, the more you had to lean towards Thunderclap Newman. And I think in the end, that was the only difference. I think Shalo's probably the horse with more upside, probably going to continue to improve, but Thunderclap Newman just enjoys those type of conditions and runs on strongly. Now, Shalo gets a half-length weight swing on Thunderclap Newman for that run, and for that reason as well, I'm going to lead that way. I think it can certainly cross, probably sit outside Gricaro, which will cross as well. I think Shalo will be too strong in this race.
Yeah, he looks to be one of those horses that carries a little bit of condition as well, looking at him in the yard, and I think third up here, over 1,600 metres, he'll be much fitter. Go to the front, make his own luck. I think that's how he likes it too, outside the leader, just bowling along. Nice type of animal. We've also got in the race, number 8, Raising Dubai. Now, this horse, I just feel that there's going to be a lot of speed on here, and he could be one getting home. He's got a good record at the track, and he's won twice in the soft as well. So if he's got to turn his form around, but today could be the day with the speed on.
Raising Dubai's always been one of these horses where it looks as though it wants 2,200, then goes out of that distance and just definitely doesn't. Last start was wide, over 2,000 metres, so you can put a line through that. But I think we've just learned that the form lines are just best here between 16 and 1,800 metres for this galloper. Go back 2 starts ago, was only beaten 2.5 lengths in the same race over the same distance on a soft track as well by Military Ruler. Now you add a 2 kilo claim to Randy Town as well. As you mentioned, with the speed of Gricaro, Cougar Express even, Shalo, Thunderclap Newman, Senso as well, you add into that mix. Raising Dubai is just going to be sitting there, waiting, attack the line strongly on a soft track. I think is another winning chance.
We'll have a look at the now 4-year-old Senso. He ran a mighty race in the Belmont Classic, which not too many expected. He stuck on quite well, to his credit. Now a 4-year-old against his... That was always a query with him, Adam, that you always had against the older horses, how he'll go. But hopefully he's taken that next step in class.
Hopefully he hasn't realised that he's had his birthday and just doesn't know what's going on at all, because there's a really good run, as you mentioned, in the Belmont Classic. I think impressed a lot of and proved probably a lot of people wrong as well. Drops back to the 1,600 metres, certainly ideal for this galloper. Barrier 3, 54 kilos. I think certainly, again, another one in the mix. But I'm going to tip number 3, Shalo on top from number 6, Thunderclap Newman, 1 Gricaro and 8 Raising Dubai.
I've got the 8 on top, Raising Dubai. Nice each way odds from the 9 Senso. Number 3, Shalo, and number 5, Sweet as Bro.